This is Dallas from Narcotic Wasteland.
This is Craig Schmuel from Hate Storm Annihilation.
Hey everybody, this is Travis from Visceral Discord.
Hey, this is Steve from 200 Stab Wounds.
This is Blind from Summoner Circle, and you're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast.
Welcome, metal fans, to a new metal podcast interview. And unfortunately for me, it is the last podcast interview I'll be doing here in the state of Tennessee. Those of you who do not hear my Oubliette review, I am moving to Florida next Sunday. So by the time you hear this episode, I will already be down there. And I am here with the entire band Lenax. We just got through doing what? What did we do just now?
We were shooting a music video for our new song, Beneath the Chapel.
What is the setting here? Where are we at?
We are in an old church in Manchester, Tennessee.
About 100 years old.
Yes. Old church, creepy looking, perfect.
Perfect setting for a music video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the church at 117, I believe, in Manchester.
Yep, Manchester, Tennessee.
And so, do you have prior experience on working on a music video, or is this your first time?
So I've done two kind of the at-home in-studio videos. In both cases, it was me in the home studio, cut in with footage of session musicians in their home studio. So really, aside from that, I would consider this my first go-around, yeah.
Whenever we were on set, I noticed that you're telling the cameraman more what to do, and I thought he was the full-on director. I was like, I wonder if Venomous here has some experience with directing.
Well, as the songwriter, I have a certain vision of how the story is going to play out. But then as the band, we've been talking about the story of this song for quite a few weeks. And so everything that came out today really came out of a combination of those two things. You know, my vision as the songwriter and the band's creativity as a whole.
It's like you knew the entire script, what was supposed to happen, the storyboards, so to speak.
Yeah, so the church is kind of like in an odd place for all of us. Some of us have to drive, 2-3 hours to get it here, all the way here. And we have full-time jobs, and we're busy. Some of us have more than one band. And we really didn't have any time to make it here. So we came blindfolded, hoping for the best. This is the second time we work with this videographer. And we did have some sort of like storyboard, like from beginning to end, in this part, when verse 1 comes in, it makes sense that we will look at this and this and that. We knew that the church had a basement, and that's kind of perfect for the whole theme of the song, Beneath the Chapel. And we were hoping it was a dirty, creepy, scary basement, and it was. And all the elements kind of aligned perfectly, and yeah, I think that was pretty successful.
Yeah.
So what's the inspiration behind the song? Did you just kind of envision a basement in the song, and then you thought, hey, you know what, we could write about corruption of the church, and how exactly did that work out?
So, we would not be the first black metal band to kind of be rebelling against religion, right? No. So that might be, or the last. That might be expected. The inspiration behind this song specifically was the fact that in history, it's very common for somebody who's outwardly being a preacher to have something kind of corrupt. You've always got that evangelical guy on TV who's got a mistress on the side. But even prior to that, back in medieval times, a lot of the magical grimoires that people look to as like this source of occult knowledge, they're all Abrahamic in nature. They use the Old Testament of the Bible. They have prayers to God, and a lot of these grimoires were either owned or actually authored by prominent men of the church, including a pope at some point. So the historical part about this was a preacher who was outwardly condemning people for any number of things. Any number of sins that he's going to condemn people for. And as soon as the doors were closed and he was on his own, he is summoning the devil to do his bidding. And so it was kind of, taking the general theme of rebellion against religiousness, but also tying in that historical element.
As someone who has wanted to be a movie director his whole life, I've kind of been paying attention to the cameraman and to see what angles he was getting. With that being said, what are your thoughts on the recording process for film?
So one of the things that we leaned on, and the videographer did have prior experience both in independent films and a couple of music videos. This is his first time trying to lead one. But in that process, one of the things that we really leaned on is his knowledge of different lens types for different lightings, different angles. Obviously, we just wrapped up filming. I haven't seen very much footage, but the footage I have seen looks fantastic. And so he really nailed these angles. The basement scene was just brutal looking. So I really think it has a lot. There's a cross-section in anything like this, and the same thing goes for playing music, right? There's a cross-section in between the creativity and the technical skill. You can have a great idea for a song, but your left hand has to be compliant to play the notes, right? You have to understand timing and structure and playing with other musicians. And the same thing with the guy shooting video. He has to have the cross-section of creativity on what he thinks the angle is going to look like, but he also has to understand lenses, frame rates, lighting, shutter speed, that kind of thing. We couldn't have done that without him.
There was a particular shot that he got where he was going down the aisle when we were all sitting down. The skeleton guy from Dead Alive.
That's the Count Capula.
Yeah, Count Capula, yeah. It looks like he was doing that camera trick where the camera's moving forward, but the lens is zooming out to kind of give it that kind of effect. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, that does look pretty cool. I can't wait to see that in the video.
Yeah, definitely props to him. Stephen Kitchens. Did I get that right? Yeah. Stephen Kitchens. Check him out. He's got a YouTube. Cool dude.
So the lyrical theme of the majority of you guys' music is anti-religious, or do you guys have any other topics that you cover?
So if I would say a main lyrical theme, it would be self-elevation and freedom. This case happened to be about religion. Cosmic horror shows up a lot, the works of H.P. Lovecraft. But self-discovery, self-elevation, grasping your own fate, those are really the things that I would say are core values. And breaking free of religion, it just happens to be a common denominator because, religion and coercion is really kind of the scourge of humanity.
All right. So this morning, you were talking about how we're going to be filming the music video today. And you also mentioned there could be some new music coming this fall.
You want to take that?
Yeah, right now we're in the process of two new songs, and we've probably got, another 15 or 20 to be put together?
Yeah.
So we got the starts of plenty, but we've got two main songs right now we're working on. You want me to tell them the name tag?
Absolutely.
Leeches and what was the other one? Ascension. So, we'll have those ready by the end of the year, probably fall.
Yes.
Fall or last quarter of the year, and they're part of an upcoming album.
Yeah. Okay, because that was going to be my next question. So I just purchased you guys' EP, the Purity EP. Let's see here, the new song Beneath the Chapel. Is it a hint that you guys might be going in more of a symphonic black metal direction?
This particular song was supposed to be symphonic from the beginning. So when you hear the version that's on Purity, if you listen to the guitar arrangements, you can kind of see the structure is there. Are we going to lean more in the symphonic? I would say probably not, just because Profana and myself are also in another band, if you want to talk about.
In Bloodstained Dusk. We no longer have an actual keyboard player on stage with us anymore, but we do use virtual instruments and stuff which you can use, with Pro Tools and all that. Mix it in with your click track, and we play with in-ears. So.
With Bloodstained Dusk being known as a symphonic black metal band, and two of us doing double duty, my intention is not to veer too close to that. But there's probably going to be some electronic elements, in some of the songs. Yeah.
The reason I asked that is because this is my second time seeing you guys live. The last time I saw you at the end in Nashville, you didn't have a keyboard player.
So, funny enough, I was doing what you were doing for us today. I was being an extra in a movie for a friend last weekend, and while the cameras were being set up, they just said, "Hey, sit down and talk amongst each other." And I meet this lovely lady, Evie, and she tells me, "Yeah, no, what do you do? What's your job?" And she's like, "I play piano for the Nashville Ballet, like full time. That's my actual job." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And I go, "Well, since you're here and you like movies and whatnot, we are shooting a music video. I have a black metal band." And she's like, "Oh, damn! My first concert ever was Slayer, Behemoth, and Lamb of God." What a lineup for a first time.
Right.
What a way to pop that cherry cheese. And she says, "Yeah, I want to be in that video. I'll be your extra. I'll go and just hang out with you guys." It's like, perfect. And then I tell the story to Jay, and Jay's like, "Hey man, it'll be cool to have a keyboard player, just to kind of like for the church scenes and whatnot." And she ended up learning the whole song, and she looked cool, and just put her on stage, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, so she went to the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville back in 2018, right, for the Slayer show?
Yeah.
I was there as well.
That was her first metal show.
Wow.
Right? I was bragging, saying that my first show was Iron Maiden back in 2007, but no, she got the...
So my first concert was also in 2007, and it was Brand New Sin opening it up for Godsmack.
Oh, wow.
On
That's
the
not bad.
tour.
Hey, I toured with Godsmack as a lighting crew for about 3 months. Yes, sir. 2018.
Hell yeah. Now, last time you and I spoke, Venomous, it was at the Awada and Bewitcher show, and you explained to me the meaning of the name Lenax. Could you explain it to our audience?
No.
There
is a meaning to the name. Normally, publicly facing, I say that it's an encoded word that has a specific meaning to me. So that is my answer, and I'm sticking to it. But if somebody happens to figure out that meaning, inbox me, because that would be a cool conversation.
We'll send you a shirt.
All right, yeah. So that secret stays with me then.
I mean, it's not a big unveiling, you know what I mean? But it's just one of those things, kind of like the Hellenic verse that we put in Beneath the Chapel remains untranslated in the
lyrics.
In the lyric video. The lyric video is coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
Monday, June 3rd on Slam Worldwide. And when it comes to the Hellenic verse, we just have Greek letters up on the screen. Again, not a huge secret. I can talk about that, but we just like to leave little Easter eggs in there.
That's cool. So, Mordred, tell me about your stage name. Where did that come from?
So, I joined this band, about a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Give or take, right? I do my audition, I play the music, and, I hang with the guys. They like me, I like them, and they go, "You need a stage name because black metal. So we need to call you a cool stage name, and it better be cool." I was like, "Oh man, all right." So I stayed up many nights. I have a library. I like to read a bunch of occult and Tolkien and whatnot. And as I was researching for, I have a few encyclopedias of Tolkien, and I noticed that he took inspiration for Sauron and for Mordor and Morgoth. So if you're a Tolkien fan, Morgoth is sort of like Sauron's boss. So major evil god guy. So Morgoth comes from Mordred. And Mordred means more dread. It's like, and it comes from King Arthur. And yeah, dude. So like basically, Mordred is one of the knights of the Round Table that ends up killing King Arthur, and that's part of my inspiration there. And also, if I may change topics here, you want to talk about my piece of armor?
That's was going to be the next question, because you blew my mind with that. So, tell me how that came to be.
Well, that's more of a Pez souvenir. That doesn't belong to me. That belongs to Profana. But he kindly allows me to wear that piece of armor. That is original armor worn by Pest from Gorgoroth on stage.
Yeah, and the fact that it's autographed. How did that end up in your possession?
I made them for him. I'm very good friends with his real name is Thomas Krones. Now he lives back in Norway, but he actually was a resident here in Manchester for quite some years.
And I had absolutely no idea. Pest is my favorite Gorgoroth vocalist, too.
Oh, cool.
He was living the American dream.
Yeah, and another thing that you told me is that he was apparently a math teacher.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
And a history teacher.
And a history teacher. Mm-hmm. So the guy's pretty smart then.
Very.
Wow. Now, what grade level did he teach? Was it college? Was he a professor or high school teacher?
Middle school, I think.
Oh, middle school.
Yeah, and I think the story goes that somebody in school found out who he was on stage, and he got fired for being satanic, and he had to go back to Norway, and that's where all the pieces of armor, you inherited them. So we have quite an assortment of...
When he rejoined Gorgoroth for the second time, he contacted me and was like, I need you to make all my leather work for me for when of my rejoining Gorgoroth. So I was like, sure. So I made him fucking everything. Full fucking arm pieces that go out past your elbows, start on your middle finger, or sit going all over the place.
Leg armor.
And
you have other like legend armor from other vocalists from other bands, right?
And some of the guys from Horna actually wore part of Pest stuff too.
Right?
No, not Watain.
What was the other band? You told me about that, but I forgot. But I digress. Yeah, legendary piece of armor. It kind of feels obviously an honor to wear something that has been worn on stage by a legend of black metal. Kind of like proudly keeping the memento alive.
Yeah, what I like in particular about Pest from Gorgoroth is that he has this raspy kind of voice that still sounds wet, though.
Amazing.
It's like this sickening kind of voice. I can't do it right, but I get it close, I guess.
Well, Profana is being a little bit humble here, so I'm going to go ahead and plug Bloodstained Dusk one more time. So the third Bloodstained Dusk album featured Pest on vocals because our original vocalist had died in a car accident.
Oh no!
So there's an album called Black Faith Inquisition.
Correct.
And I was newer to the band. I play as a touring member, and I was kind of doing my homework by just listening to the discography. And at some point, I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, and actually set this in my head, like, who's playing in my car? Because it sounded to me like Gorgoroth. It's like, I don't recognize this song, and I was listening to Black Faith Inquisition from Bloodstained Dusk. So yeah, he toured with them for a short time as well. Really cool piece of history.
So, Pez Profana, I gotta compliment you, man. The corpse paint that you have, it reminds me slightly of the bass player from Dark Funeral, but it looks just a bit cooler.
Oh, thank you.
And I think what really helps it make it pop is the fact that you have these contact lenses that look very vampiric in a way.
Oh, I'm also a massive horror fan and I've been on The Walking Dead. So, and I enjoy doing special effects makeup and.
Oh wait, so you're an extra on The Walking Dead?
Yes.
No,
Since
you did like the makeup.
See it?
Right?
No, I didn't do makeup for it, but I did several things for The Walking Dead store in Senoia, Georgia. Then I made it onto the show. So I was an extra. I was a walker, and I was one of the Jada's groups, in the junkyard.
I've already seen you guys in Nashville once, and I saw you guys here, which means today was the very last time I'll be able to see you guys, unless you guys sign to a major record label and you guys end up going on tour and open it up for some other big band. Now, are there any record labels out there that you would hope to get signed to one day?
Yes, there is. Oh boy. But if I say that and they're listening, is that going to be an issue? No, we're approaching that step with a certain amount of humility. Like Mordred said, we all do have full-time jobs. Unless something really big happens, I couldn't imagine leaving my job for touring. That being said, yes, there is a lot a small band can do without a label. That being said, we would need a label that's doing more than we're doing now. So, no disrespect to some of the small labels that we also love, but if what they're doing is basically putting up a Bandcamp and sending your stuff to DistroKid, and that's all they're doing, then we're doing that plus more.
Yeah.
So, if we got into a label situation, we need some marketing budget. We need some ability to help press vinyl, but we also need to grow as a band in order to ask for those things. So that being said, yeah, there are some labels that we would love to get on, but it would have to be a situation that makes sense for all and kind of grows organically.
All right, so the last couple of questions I have here is, do you have any more upcoming shows?
Yes. July
15
in this is more like a private small show in Lebanon, Tennessee. If you want to be in that show, you can DM us. We can get you in. It's probably, it's going to be it's like a studio session recording that we're going to make in there. But we do have a show headlining in the Cobra on August 22nd with a few friends of us, including the Dead Alive guys.
Yeah, so that first show that you mentioned is kind of like an exclusive invite only kind of thing?
It's a small room. We've got room for 10 to 15 guests.
Okay.
So, it will be on a Facebook event, but normally when they do those studio shows, they say DM us for an invitation just to make sure they don't go over capacity.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just going to be kind of like a small thing, but if anybody who's listening and is local here in Tennessee wants to go, shoot us a message.
Yeah.
See what we can do about that. Other than that, August 22nd, and we're working on a couple more shows, waiting to hear from other people, and stay tuned. We'll publish it soon enough.
Yeah, so just follow them on their social media platforms, and they'll be able to tell you about other upcoming shows. Now, lastly, what is the best way for fans to support your music?
Bandcamp. Yeah, Bandcamp's great. Now, honestly, money aside, following us on social media and interacting with our content, letting us know that you like the music, that's what we live for. Absolutely. If you want to support the band by buying a piece of merch, the shirts are on Bandcamp. Yeah.
We do have a pre-order for a brand new shirt that came specifically for this video shoot. It's a Beneath the Chapel shirt. We did a very cool logo for that. It's on all our socials pinned, and it's a purple shirt. It looks really gnarly. I like it. Yeah. So it's on pre-order right now. We are asking only $20 as a pre-order, and once it drops, it's going to go up a little bit. And that's it.
All right, well, I definitely look forward to that, and thank you guys very much for this interview. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.